Okay, you can crush any run outside, but you step on a treadmill and in 2 minutes, you are panting. Because it seems like treadmill running is harder than just running off a treadmill. You're not wrong, it does feel harder. My name is Greg, I'm a USATF certified coach with over 20 years of running experience, including 11 marathons, and that is Running Shoe. And today, I'm gonna break down the reasons why, backed by real science, and how you can fix that. Most of the time when you run on treadmills, what tends to happen is you sweat a lot because the ventilation is a complete nightmare for most treadmill locations. When I do a 60-minute run outside, I shower, I eat, and I can go on with the rest of my day. When I do it on a treadmill, I'm basically playing catch up with my hydration for the rest of the day. That's because when you run in a sweatbox, you lose both hydration and precious nutrients and electrolytes. That will affect your performance and how you feel on the treadmill. Look, it's not because you're not fit enough, it's just that the environment is that of a sauna. Another reason why treadmill running feels hard is because it actually alters what muscles get engaged. Because with the treadmill, because it's bouncy and the belt is moving under you, it actually ends up your quads are doing most of the work bouncing off. Unlike running on other surfaces where your muscles are literally pushing off and fighting gravity, and it engages your hamstrings and your quads and your hips a little bit more. This change might not seem like a big deal, but it can make your stride feel really awkward and really weird, which could actually make you a little bit less efficient, and therefore will make fatigue kind of kick in a little sooner. But even outside of all of that, the treadmill also is not the most reliable tool. Most treadmills need to be calibrated. However, just because you do it once doesn't necessarily mean you're good to go. Treadmills have to be recalibrated every 6 months, most of the time with a technician. So when you see like 6 miles per hour or 7 miles per hour on a treadmill, it actually could be 5.7 or 6.3 or 7.1. Even at the gym, because they get used so often, they might need to be recalibrated on a higher frequent basis. Over a 30+ minute period, it can add up. But even if you have a perfectly calibrated treadmill, there's still another big issue, and it has to do with the number you set it to and forget about. Your scenery never changes. And even if you're watching, let's say, Lord of the Rings Return of the King Extended Edition for your long run, it's still pretty monotonous. Being bored literally feels like you're slowing down. Time seems like it's happening longer. And so this makes you focus on how much harder you're working or how much discomfort you're feeling. It could actually make those 5 minutes feel like 50. But the monotony is not just with the scenery, because when you set the treadmill speed and just forget about it, you're also leaving out something very important, which is when you're running outside, you don't always run at the same pace. You're not a machine outside on your own. You get faster or slower depending on all sorts of different factors. That's just the natural motion of the body. The treadmill actually takes that away. And when you take those micro changes away, it forces your body to do something that doesn't always feel like the natural thing to do. And in fact, according to a 2014 study, they've discovered the same thing. Okay, so treadmill running is clearly harder, both mentally and physically, but how do we fix this? How do we make it feel a lot easier? If you're only working certain muscles on treadmill, you can actually strengthen yourself by doing more form drills or doing different sorts of strengthening exercises or weights. That way you're engaging more of your muscles, making sure that you are engaging your whole body, not just kind of what the treadmill wants you to do. This will also keep you efficient when you're not running on the treadmill. And even though we know that the miles per hour or the speed on treadmills might be lying, the effort is still there. Just set it to what feels right. It might take a little bit more work to really listen to your body and what feels harder, but it can really benefit you in the end. And to break up some of that monotony, you can actually make the thing go higher on the incline or slower or faster. Really listen, don't just set it and forget it. You do have the power to increase the speed or decrease it. Maybe not as much as you would outside, but those changes could definitely help. And yes, even though sometimes a treadmill can be boring, even when you're watching Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, or The Two Towers, or The Fellowship of the Ring, the extended ones, not the normal ones, because nobody wants to watch the non-extended editions, I would still recommend that you save a lot of your favorite TV shows that, your spouse that isn't really interested in watching with, and make them your treadmill show. I personally like a lot of blockbusters and things with lots of fight scenes because the more action there is, the faster the whole thing goes. That's probably because there's so much change. So any sort of big superhero movie, or even what I've gotten into recently, which is watching WWE Royal Rumbles, it's always super important, no matter how long you're going for, to always be drinking water on a consistent basis, even if you're not sweating a lot. Because by the time you're sweating a ton, it's already too late. So drink a lot of water before you get on the treadmill, and drink a lot of water while you're on there to help keep your body going. If you want to throw in some sports drinks in there, that's fine. I usually only do that when I'm doing long runs on the treadmill, but to each their own. Because running on a treadmill is a completely different beast than running outside. I should know I trained for 2 marathons on a treadmill exclusively. But if you want some specific workouts and some guides on exactly how to train for a marathon on a treadmill, you can check that video out right up here.